So is it okay for a Christian to doubt? I'm sure you're wondering if you should be ashamed because you're doubting. Because doubts are flooding your mind that should just be embarrassing and a shame for you even to admit that, right? I'm sure you're wondering if it makes you less of a Christian because you're doubting, or you're wondering if it makes your faith weaker because you're doubting, or you're wondering maybe that you've fallen off into unbelief because you're doubting. But that's wrong. Doubt is not unbelief. Doubt is the halfway stage. You're kind of thinking in the middle, whether you're going to believe or not. You're beginning to question what you believe. And so doubt is not bad. What I say, is it okay for a Christian to doubt? Absolutely. But with one condition. And that condition is that you work to get answers for whatever you're doubting about. You see, it's not okay to doubt and not give God an opportunity or yourself the chance to remove or resolve that doubt. So is it okay to doubt? Well, yes, because you can only doubt what you believe. The very essence of faith does this: it produces questions. And so doubt is not some dirty, dark thing or some dirty word that we don't need to mention. Doubt is you're just beginning to question it many times because maybe circumstances are coming into your life, or somebody else has brought up a question, or a challenge has come, and you need to settle that. That's what doubt is. You begin to hang in the middle. Is what I'm believing true, or is it not? How can I get sufficient evidence, and so forth? And so think about all the examples of people in Scripture who doubted. There's numerous. Two of them that stick out to me in the New Testament is, one was called this many times by people, Doubting Thomas. How would you like to have that name? What's your name? Doubting Thomas. I can identify with Thomas, honestly, because he's a realist. He wants to see to believe, and that's kind of how I am. I want to see it to believe it. John the Baptist. Jesus said there's not been greater born on earth outside of John the Baptist, and he, sitting in prison, began to question. And he began to have doubts, and he sent some of his disciples to Jesus and said this: "Are you even Jesus? Are you even the Messiah? Because my circumstances in life are causing me to think otherwise." In both of those instances, you see how Jesus responded to them. He didn't respond to them with disgust. He didn't respond to them telling them they're wrong, they should be ashamed, they should be embarrassed, that their faith was weak, or whatever. He responded to them to help them. Thomas wanted to see to believe, so Jesus showed him his hands and told him to touch. John the Baptist just needed to remember. Jesus sent back the disciples and said, "Tell John to remember," basically all those things that have happened that he saw. Remember all that he saw, and then his faith will be strengthened. You see, in our training we do to help churches reach college students and college campuses, this is a question that we talk about in detail. And we actually talk about this, that doubting is actually a very beautiful thing when it's handled correctly. Because resolved doubt can lead to tremendous growth. You see, you have young people that step out of youth group and home, and they're taking everything mom, dad, pastor, and people have taught them. They go into, many of them, college or the workforce after that, and they begin to formulate everything that they've been taught around 18 to 22 to 25 years old. What's going to be mine? And so there's a lot of opportunity for doubt to creep in there. But doubt doesn't have to be a bad thing as it's dealt with and answers are sought. Actually, it is a beautiful thing that produces great growth. We have watched young people take all they've been taught, struggle with doubts, formulate what they believe, and come out so much stronger on the other side. And they're being used tremendously in the church today, in their workplace, and so forth. And so don't be afraid if you are wrestling with doubt to admit it. Don't be afraid to come to God with any hard questions. It's not going to surprise him. He already knows what you're struggling with, but that just helps us to open up. You see, the Christian faith is not built on fairy tales and make-believe. There is insurmountable evidence, historically, all around us, geographically, everything. Discover that evidence for yourself. Don't just believe it because somebody told you. Believe it because you've researched and you've found and you've answered those questions that you have had come up. Talk about your doubts. You see, Satan wants you to stay silent. He wants you to stay quiet about it because he wants you to feel ashamed about the doubt. And if he can do that, you see what happens is doubt compounds upon doubt, compounds upon doubt, until the very foundation of your faith begins to erode away. But as you talk about doubt with other people, it helps you to share the struggles with one another. It helps you to hear other people's struggles, because if you open up, they'll open up. Maybe you get their perspective on a question or something that's arisen in your life, and they can say, hey, this is the way have looked at it, and this is the way that's helped me. Or they say, look, I experienced and struggled with that same doubt for weeks or years, and this is how I've worked through it. Or maybe you can come together because you're both struggling, and you can seek help from people that are in the church or your college ministry or whatever. So don't be ashamed of doubt. Rather, use it to grow your faith.